So Shnerd Cast coming back here with some Shnerd bites, and
Hey,
like always, and thank you so much, much appreciated. The greatest motherfucking dude I know, right here,
hey,
Cultcanon.
Gonzo. Oh, me.
But yeah, so the Eternals, bro, this shit is pretty fucking crazy. And then a lot of stuff happens in this movie, and um, I don't know. Should we do a pre spoilers or should we just
well,
spoil
well,
everything?
it's up to you. If you want, we could do the first half of this non-spoiler. That way, later you can clip it out and do one video non-spoiler, and then do the whole thing with spoilers. Or if you just want to do spoilers, we can do spoilers.
I think we should just
Spoil
so
it up.
yeah, spoil it up.
This movie, the lore, it's like
So good, dude.
so
Here,
good.
I'm gonna
It's
I'm gonna
so
pop up
good
the cast real quick just so we don't have to try to explain it
with
and
the
people
names. Thank you.
yeah, and people
Thank
can
you.
see so we could just be like this is who.
And by the way, Cersei, the main character girl,
Yeah, yeah,
Cersei, the Asian girl.
yeah.
She's actually been in Marvel before.
Really?
Yeah, she was another character in Marvel. And Kevin Feige, or however you say his last name.
Mm.
Oh yeah, Gemma Chan. She's been in Marvel before, and he asked her to come back after he's seen Crazy Rich Asians. Because that's the girl from
Is it
Crazy Rich
really?
Asians. Yeah, one of the actresses. Yeah, which that movie's awesome if nobody's seen it.
I mean, so let me do this.
Yeah, and Kumail Nanjiani was so funny in it. He's so weird. There we go. Perfect. Thank you.
So the pictures are pretty. I don't. They're pretty crappy. I don't know why, but I mean, you could look these people up on
Hey,
their own. So Gemma Chan is said. Sarah's
Cersei,
Cersei. Sorry. Richard Madden is Icarus.
the boy who flew too close to the sun and melted his wax wings.
Yep. The Angelina Jolie, Athena, which is supposed to be
Which
like
in
Athena.
which is, but also in no, it's Thena. It's Thena. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah, no,
Athena.
but
But in history, we call her Athena.
that
And
yeah, that's what I said
yeah.
that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all good. So Salma Hayek is Ajax, but I'm not
The
too
leader.
sure
The
who
leader.
she was in Thor in mythology. And to catch that one if you
I
did.
don't know. I don't know either. But her superpower was healing. She could
Okay,
heal.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she could heal anything.
So this dude, we'll talk about him. He's Dane Whitman.
Later.
He's
That's
he's
that's
the
the guy.
yeah, he's the girlfriend of
The
this chick
boyfriend
right
of
here. Oh
Cersei.
yeah, boyfriend of yeah, of
It's
Cersei.
2021. It doesn't matter now.
This dude, which I'm gonna say
Kamel Nanjiani.
he's
Yeah.
my favorite in this one.
He's
He's
so bro. Okay, hold on. The unsung hero of this movie is his cameraman. That
dude.
fool was so
Well,
funny,
we're
bro.
gonna. I think that's no, no. We'll see him in a second. Yeah, that fool is fucking hilarious. So this little chick, Leah Mahue,
Right.
Sprite,
Yep.
um, Brian Terry Henry, Fat, what was it?
Fastos.
Fastos, yeah,
Yeah.
Fastos. Lauren Ridolph, which she's in The Walking Dead, and she's an amazing actor.
Bro, Makari.
Makari,
I want to bring
so
this up
dope,
real
dude.
quick. The way they made her speed was fucking jaw
It
dropping
was
good.
literally the momentum, you know what I mean?
It
The
was,
momentum
and she
thing.
was so powerful. It was like,
Which
holy
I have a
shit.
quick question. I know I'll forget this later, so I'm gonna ask this now. She's like you said, we're super speed. Would she be stronger on lighter planets, or like would she be stronger on heavier planet, like with more
With more
gravity,
gravity.
or was just
I
Earth
think
just like perfectly made
I
for her?
well, the thing is, the way that the all Eternals have a set of powers in the comics. They actually have all the same powers in the comic books. They have all the same powers, but some of them are able to hone their celestial energy to highlight certain powers. Hence why Icarus can fly and he can shoot laser beams out of his eyes because he
Yeah,
owned that power. Um, that's a good question. My
I'm
guess
curious, just
my
to like,
guess is on a planet with less gravity, she wouldn't move as fast.
yeah,
But she was, dude. That scene when she runs across the ocean, stops, checks her
and
shit,
finds
and
it. Yeah.
dude, I was like, why did they? This is as good
So
as
so
the Quicksilver seems.
yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh, almost spilled that all over my fucking keyboard, bro. My MIDI keyboard.
Oh
Woo.
shit. So Barry Keoghan
I don't know.
as Druid,
Yep.
which he was a good character too. Madong Seiko
His dog.
Sorry for killing that name or butchering it as Gilgamesh. And this is the dude you're talking about here,
And technically,
Karun. And then these other
technically,
people.
technically, Gilgamesh is the strongest on the team, literally.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, I loved how they introduced these characters all like because at first I wasn't a fan of the flashback scenes, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But the way they started it as them showing up and everything, and then they flash to the future,
Yeah.
which Ceres,
Cersei.
I want to say
Cersei. It's Cersei.
automatically. I mean, it starts with her, so I was like,
Yeah.
who's the main character? She's the
Yeah.
main character.
Yeah.
And she has a boyfriend, and she's a teacher, like an
Bro,
archaeologist teacher.
in the
like,
beginning, okay, go on. I'm sorry.
No, go.
Dude, in the beginning, when the first deviant comes back to present day, right?
Yeah.
And they all jump over the wall like superheroes, and he's like, "All right, let's do this." Nah, there's stairs, and he runs away. I was like, "Oh my god!"
I mean,
parkour.
He probably could have.
It kind of seems like there's something. Again, we'll get there. There's something there that is said at the end that's like, "What the fuck?"
And then
His dad is
whatchamacallit?
fucking Nick Fury. I'm just kidding.
Icarus shows up to help fight the that thing that keeps on healing
The
himself.
deviant, the tentacles and shit. Basically the alpha deviant.
So this enemy, this thing that keeps on absorbing everything, is I had to look this up because I didn't see it. And they might have said his name or whatever, but they didn't really specify. This enemy in the comic that they use for the deviant his name is Crow. Josh is like, this is personal. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, I just haven't thought about it since his wife was sending me naked pictures all those months ago, all those years ago. Anyways,
maybe he's like, this is personal. No,
yeah, exactly. I'm just fucking around.
But he's a mimic, hence why he, you know what I mean. He was able to use other people's powers. But then they started going flashbacks and everything. So what do you think of the let's talk about the ancient scenes first of them as you know what I mean, ruling the ancient earth. Ancient civilization.
When they first arrived on Earth, that scene at first, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I also felt the same way at first, where I was like, okay, enough with the flashback scenes at first.
Yeah.
And there was a specific.
I thought that's going to be the whole movie, right?
Yeah, but there was one flashback sequence that I was like, it made me look back and go, I can't wait to rewatch these in HD, like high fucking dope, like on Blu-ray, your fucking 4K TV type of shit.
4K.
The flashback sequence of ancient times, they grew on me. They grew on me completely. That when Cersei gives him the blade, right? And then it flashes the present day, and they're like she's first like discovery,
like taking a picture, and she's like, "That was." They said, "What did it say on the wall?" Like
the first like the most monumental human discovery, or the thing that human
like ancient discoveries, or something that.
It was like human society was built on this blade.
You said this in the beginning, if this even makes it or not. So if it doesn't make it, I will explain real quick. Cultcanon was saying it pretty much. This movie has a great thing of explaining how humans were able to advance during time.
Yeah,
and that you said that, and that's hella true. And that's pretty much in the first 5 minutes of the movie. You get that.
Yeah, you get it right away, and I love it. And I won't forget. I won't ruin it, so that way I don't jump back and forth. But there is one flashback sequence that made me love all the flashback sequences. I won't say which just yet. But I'll remember because it's one of my favorite days. Not my favorite, but my most fascinating days in human history in real life. But anyways,
the atom bomb.
What was it?
The atom bomb.
Yeah.
Kind of
Hiroshima, bro.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there in the nuclear fucking zone, and he's just crying. I was like, oh my god, I get it. Like, oh my god, my heart. Like this poor fucking guy. And that was the cool part, was this is what Ben was saying about building the characters, where we didn't get all the characters explained to us at once and our brains overload. You got them in these fascinating flashbacks going back to the ancient times when men were still cavemen, just evolving. And then you go to Egypt.
And then, like you were saying, though, I was going to say, like back in these ancient times, they were a group. But you flash forward to these newer times in our modern time, they're separated.
Yeah. And there that sequence very much so explained that once the deviants are exterminated from Earth, they Ajax is like, oh, I fucked up. Like I fucked up big time. Everybody go find your purpose.
Yeah,
Go find happiness.
and yeah, so they it's like I said, like we were saying, they flash back and forth, and then they flash forward.
Throughout basically the whole movie, it goes but it's done very well in the sense that it starts present day. Once a character gets involved or a name gets brought up or the character's about to come into present day, they go back to the past.
And forth,
yeah, and they explain that character and why they are not there anymore.
Yeah.
Or what happened with them and why they are the way they are.
And so that's when they bring in Salma Hayek's character, Ajax, and she's pretty much the leader.
Yeah.
She's already dead. And we already know what happens is fucking the dude comes in.
Superman kills her.
Pretty much.
Yep.
But that's when Cersei pretty much gives her the technique or the gem or whatever to talk to.
Yeah. It's not like it's a technique. It's like a
gem because the dude was able to like
so I
disembark that.
So I don't know if it's the reason I say that is because they're not flesh and bone.
Yeah.
And that's something, by the way, that we said in our Eternals reaction trailer. We were like, are they going to end up being robots? And we were kind of right. Kind of.
What's
remember?
Let's just call him the judge.
Yeah, we'll call him the judge. Yeah,
he's the judge,
and
that's literally his name.
Dude,
too.
Judge Joe Brown was wild. Like I loved that character. Like when he came
I thought you were talking about Judge Joe Brown.
Oh, well, him too. But like, I love that character. As soon as he made an appearance on screen, I was like.
When they first, they've appeared him at first because they showed Salma Hayek talking to her Ajax, but then the second time when she talks to him for a second, Cersei's, god damn it, I'm gonna fucking have to cut this so much, bro.
It's all good. I'm here. I'll hold your hand through this pain.
You could see that that fool is damaged. The judge. That fool has chunks missing out of him. Did you notice?
He does. That? Yeah, I did.
He's definitely aging or like falling apart or getting ready to let these next Celestials take over.
100%. We are going to get another Celestial battle in one future Marvel movie for sure.
So after that, they start. That's when they start introducing everybody. They have, which by the way, this is what I wrote down for everybody. Sprite is a little illusionist. Icarus is Superman / Homelander. Ajax is an oracle.
Great way to describe that. Ajax is an oracle and healer.
Yeah,
and healer. She can heal.
Fastos is a engineer kind of like
a brilliant engineer. Yeah.
Dina is obviously a war goddess.
Yeah, goddess of warrior.
Makari, I don't even know how to say her, but she's just a fucking
speedster.
A speedster, yeah.
Yeah.
Druid, mind control.
Gilgamesh,
the only thing I can think of is Iron Fist.
No, super strength. So they all have super
he has
strength.
To be fast too, right?
He has super eternal strength, and he is considered the strongest one on the team.
We kind of glanced over it, but when he smacks that fucking monster into sleep, one of the deviants.
Oh yeah, he's like bat, and the thing
really makes a slap noise. Like he knocks it out hella hard. It's like
bro,
gets back up. And it goes back to it's like.
To ruin it, since we're doing the spoiler thing, I get why he dies before the end scene because, dude, Icarus would never have stood a chance because he was literally in the beginning when they finally come back to Gilgamesh.
You'd have to have either one of them. You'd either have to have Athena or Icarus. You couldn't have both.
No, yeah, and Athena was fucking badass, and I don't even like Angelina Jolie.
Let's talk about Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Tell me why she fucking stole the scene every time she was on screen, bro. Every time she was on screen, I could not take my eyes off her. I was like, God damn, she's awesome. And then not only that, she really did come off as like a super goddess that just went mad. That just went crazy.
Oh my God. I love that. When they explained that, when they were sitting in the scene and after all the deviants are destroyed and that civilization of humans is destroying themselves and they're forced to watch and they're all in pain. Because they've all
That's where Druid comes in and mind controls like half the population and just leaves.
Yeah,
he's like one of the flashback.
flashbacks. Yeah, and that Athena scene when all of a sudden they're talking and she just looks and it's boom and the white comes over her eyes. I was like,
Which
same
makes
way.
sense though. Go.
I was gonna say you're right. She stole the scene every time because by the time we finally got back to her in present day, I literally crossed my legs, crisscross applesauce, and was like, yes. Like, and I don't even like that actress that much, but like,
I like Angelina.
I'm not a huge.
We just grew up with her, so we're kind of like over. You know what I mean?
She's in a few of really good movies that I love, really, really love. One of them being Gone in 60 Seconds. That's one of the only movies where I've seen her with dreadlocks.
They're horrible movies, but I love the Tomb Raider movies.
Oh, dude, the first two, she was definitely better than the remake they did. Regardless,
watch the remake, so
yeah, I mean it's garbage, dude. It's garbage, but her character's amazing.
And I really did, like you were saying, I like that, and it makes sense though because they explain this that Ajax.
Ajax.
You know why I looked into it a little bit, but you know why I looked into it, and the reason why she was literally the goddess of war is because she was so good at what she did, but she kept getting her mind wiped. And that's why, you know what I mean? She kept
and so that disease that they lie to her about is exactly like you said. It's just the result of memories from millions of years come flooding in at once.
Since the story really doesn't really matter since we're spoiling everything, let's talk about the Celestials and how they create energy into the earth.
Dude,
that was crazy, right?
Dude, that scene,
that was next level.
That fucking scene, dude. I want to watch that scene on repeat like 3 more times. When fucking the judge explains everything, I just was like, I needed this so bad in Marvel movies. Like, I needed it so bad. And oh my God.
But the thing I wanted to say though is the Celestials are pretty much creators of the universes, but they're also
like maintainers,
black holes, right?
They're basically like janitors.
So the black holes of our universe. They suck everything in, and once they fucking suck everything, they just explode and create more life.
No. Okay, so that's
maybe they don't explode, but
what they do is they start with creating a sun. This is how it's explained in the movie. They start with creating a sun, which then in turns the star helps feed the dark, eliminate the darkness. And then it spans planets. So every time a celestial is born, yes, a whole planet dies, an entire civilization dies, right? But it spawns 1 billion more lives. So it's like give and take. So in this movie, that's their goal is basically
creating life.
Yeah, to keep creating life. They are neither good nor bad. They're not evil or good.
They sent. What is it like? What did they say? 1 million years or 100 million years? Every million years, or
it's like it takes like I don't remember how.
That part.
Yeah, I don't remember how they. I don't remember
just say millions.
Yeah, it was a lot. They send eggs, celestial eggs, to every planet, and that's all. And that was the issue with why Cersei was so upset. Is they're like, so billions of people die,
are created.
Yeah,
and
just
pretty much advanced.
Yeah, just to spawn celestials.
Which,
that's it.
By the way, I had to go back and look, but me and you had a fucking theory about this where we did the Dragon Ball Z thing, but we were like so close off. It wasn't about fighting because we were like, okay, let me explain this.
I know what you're
Majin Buu, Goku and Vegeta fought full power to a sense. Goku wasn't, and that all that energy got sent to Majin Buu to release him into the. You know what I mean? He was able to, and we both said that same scenario where all the fight between Thanos and Thor and Iron Man. You know what I mean? Sending all that cosmic fucking power.
That was the
energy. But we were just off by literally like couple clicks, bro, dude.
Because it wasn't the fights. It wasn't the fights. It wasn't the fights.
People in general.
It was the people. Yeah, we were so close, dude.
And so Thanos snapping his fingers, it was.
Saved Earth. He saved Earth.
Pretty much. He saved not only Earth, all of the universe.
Yeah,
because that's essentially happening all over the universe.
I literally, that's what I was going to say in the beginning when I started to jump around. I was like, if you think about what they said,
Thanos was right.
Thanos would have saved billions, like trillions almost. Like,
So do you
Is
think this is a little kind of like side note? Do you think Doctor Strange saw that, or did he look that far into the future, or did he just saw Thanos destroying the planet, or just winning?
wow, good question. I think that he looked into the future of their future, and they have yet to come across the Celestial.
So oh,
Yeah,
so
so I don't think.
the time stone wasn't even. But
Yeah,
see,
because
we're delving into some crazy stuff, bro.
dude, yeah. So I think that it's possible, but I don't think on Earth, other than the Eternals, I don't think anybody knows what a Celestial is. Anything, not even
No,
none of the
not even
superheroes.
Strange.
If Doctor Strange, if there's one character that kind of knows, it's Doctor Strange due to reading the ancient texts.
Yeah.
But even then, he would just have like a glimpse of like a hieroglyph and it being like this large figure and or something like that, you know? But yeah, I don't think anybody knows other than the Eternals.
So this is gonna be super out of order, super raw. What'd you think of these battle scenes, bro?
Dude.
And we could start from the beginning towards the end. Let's do that.
When Icarus came in the very first one with the Deviant and the flying again, they did two things in this movie that I was like, special effects wise, with fights that I was just like, I've only had this happen in a few other like Marvel Fox movies. One of them being Quicksilver in the X-Men movies with the running.
Yeah.
Now in this movie, Icarus's flying looks so fucking good, and what's her name, Makari? Her running was so good. Like that beginning scene when she runs up, and it's like I heard that the
like,
actress.
Boom. I like how they added the sound effects of like what it would be like of getting smashed
at super speed, like supersonic speed. And one thing I also wanted to point out is what that actress said, Makari said, or the girl from Walking Dead. Everybody was asked to describe their power on like a red carpet event or in an interview or something, right? In the movie for the movie,
and she was like, yeah. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I'm sorry. I couldn't hold myself. I couldn't withheld myself.
She said something super fascinating, and watching the movie, I'm glad I read this before watching it. Yes, she's super duper fast. It's not the super speed that makes her a superpower. It's how she fucking uses it. Yeah. And like I agree, because there are several scenes where the way she, like you just said, when she would hit somebody, it was like watching a linebacker tackle. It was so dope seeing her land punches and on the Deviants in the beginning.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna say. That's because they were showing Gilgamesh doing it. Like he was like knocking some of them back. You know, like the teamwork in the very beginning was so impeccable, and that's what made me love it. The very beginning scene, though, I would say when it just showed fucking Icarus just come in, just like bzz, 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 I was like, oh great, this is what the movie's gonna be about. Everyone's gonna get fucked up, and then he's gonna come in. But I was completely wrong when I was watching.
Yeah, no, I kind of went in with like an open mind with it.
I didn't, honestly.
No, I understand, especially when it comes to like this is gonna happen in the future.
I think that's what probably made it even better for me, because I was like, this movie's gonna suck. And you were like, oh, this movie's pretty good. I'm watching it again. And I honestly, when you said that, I was just like, whatever.
Dude, I had a 5-page text message written out, and I was like, delete. Just tell them it's pretty good. You would watch it again, because again, my viewing experience might have been different from yours, because I was glued to the fucking screen. And then as soon as they showed the flashback, the lore, and how the fight scenes went, I just was like you said, dude.
It takes a while though for them, because this is a 2.5 hour movie, so it's long.
And it feels like it, but it doesn't feel like it. There are parts of the movie where you're like, holy shit, this is still on. But and I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but they fuck, man, they've handled that 2.5 hour runtime right.
So
back to the fight scenes though. I love the action sequences. There are so many fight scenes that are hilarious. One of them is when Gilgamesh basically bitch slaps the fuck out of that deviant, and he's just like, I don't know if he like rolls his shoulders, but Gilgamesh was so badass. And the other one was what's the Indian actor's name? Kamal Nanjiani.
Kingo.
Dude, dude, when he slides under him, and I don't know, yeah, I don't know what he says, but he basically says a punchline for his cameraman, and he's
Yeah.
like, basically like, boom, baby, and like shoots him. I was like,
afterwards he was like, "Did you get that on camera?" That's what made it even better,
yeah,
bro.
and then the guy in the way
He's
background's
like,
like,
"Oh, I
yeah,
got it. I got it,
I
son."
got it, son. I was like,
Dude,
dude, I love Kingo.
I'm not
I
gonna
love
lie.
that.
Let's talk about Kingo for a little bit because this fool, he was the comic relief, but they did it right, bro. And you know what my favorite one was is
Huh.
when they started seeing Druid, and they're talking to him and they're like they're pretty much trying to recruit him, and then right when they started talking, series
Cersei's.
Cersei's series
It's all
Series
good.
phone started ringing, and right after that, Kingo was like, what's your service? I get no bars
Dude,
out here."
dude,
I
bro,
started laughing so fucking
I
hard at
laughed
that part.
hella hard, and then when Druid walked out, and he was like, "So Druid sucks." I just was like, dude, I love their family. Like Kingo was not just a comic relief. His character was fucking badass, and on top of it, it's funny. The lead characters of this movie are Cersei and Icarus, easily, right?
Hands down.
However, Kingo and Thena were like show stealers. Like every time they came on, it was like, use your powers or say something funny. Like, I loved it, man. I loved it.
I was kind of mad though how Kingo wasn't in the end battle, but I'm sure they're probably saving him for something else.
I think that the reason that they did this the way they did it, with like some characters leaving and some characters staying and some characters get taken, and this is not just me, like my theory. I've actually read this now, I read a couple of people's blogs, and they're thinking that some of the Eternals are going to be members of the new Avengers.
Oh yeah, most definitely they have
Yeah.
to.
And if that's the case, I'm excited because the engineer is still on Earth. Kingo's still on Earth.
So before we even talk about them, since you just brought that up, I want to talk about Sprite. She is the perfect one to be the next Avenger.
Oh, for sure.
She's young. The actor's young.
Yeah.
She got turned into a human. Technically, we'll see how that goes if she does or not.
Because I had a question about that.
She's also celestial, so technically she's not human, but she's like Android 18, bro.
Yeah,
17.
and so I wanted to ask: did Cersei turn Sprite into a human, or did she give her the ability to age?
Either way, I think that's going to be whether. Honestly, I can't answer that question, but I'm going to go with the aging thing.
Yeah,
but I do see her being able to have kids or something, like being able, you know what I mean? Like I mean, if the other Celestials could have kids, like Fastos, if he could have kids, obviously she can have kids.
Well, no, wait. Fastos didn't have a kid. He's gay. He's gay.
I mean, did they explain that at all though?
No, I think the kids are either the boyfriend, the husbands,
they could have done
or adopted,
donor,
or a donor. But for the record, there is a sex scene with Icarus and Cersei, so they do have sex.
Wait a minute, dude. Did everybody just not even pay attention if he did it or did not? Is that a fucking demigod right there?
Oh, dude, what if Fastos created the kid?
Is that a demigod, dude?
Bro,
dude, is that
like Hercules type
something
shit?
Something like that.
I hope it's not
either
Hercules,
that,
but
he's just like a fucking genius.
Oh my god, they did it, and they did that. Okay, so I do want to bring up a loophole in the movie. There's one scene, one thing that's never explained, at least when I watched it, or maybe I missed it. You know how Sprite was super upset that she couldn't grow.
Yeah, and she wanted to love. Like that was one of her main quarrels. She didn't.
Yeah,
she couldn't love.
She was in love with Icarus.
Yeah, and they even explained that.
Okay, so hold on. Why didn't she just cast an illusion over herself to make herself look older?
So they explained this, I think, in the very beginning.
Do they?
Remember where they first show her and the dudes in the club in London?
Yeah.
And he puts the hand on her and the hand goes through.
Yeah.
You can't be physical unless
with her illusions. Her illusions aren't physical.
Or even that, like even she makes herself a full grown
woman.
person. You know what I mean? You can't touch her physical.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I'm like this and I make myself like a
A
7
giant.
foot person,
Yeah.
I'm within that. You know what I mean?
You're real
I'm
within that
me.
illusion.
Exactly.
And with it,
exactly.
no, that makes okay. I didn't even fucking think about that. The club scene was confusing to me.
It was at first, but then they kind of. That's what I thought. At least that's what I thought about it.
And again, up until that point of the movie, I was still considering like stepping away because I was like, okay, whatever, like this is cool. But it was right after that that actually the movie is like nonstop action if you think about it. There's a few dialogues, obviously, quite a bit of dialogue,
it's
but
interesting dialogue. You know what I mean?
It's the lore.
It wasn't.
The lore.
I want to say this. It wasn't like Captain Marvel, where it's like this is boring and stupid and super retconny.
Yes,
you know I mean, and
agreed.
It was
because for everybody listening, we're not throwing shade at Captain Marvel.
I'm throwing major shade.
Me and him just don't like that movie. It's a horrible movie.
I'm always throwing major shade at Captain Marvel.
And he also hates Brie Larson.
So it's already confirmed she's going to be in the. We talked about this in a few Shnerd bites ago. The Marvels, something like that.
Yeah, the Marvels.
She's going to be in it. She's already
okay. So it is about her. Okay, then okay, I
this
get.
This is 2023.
I
this is 3 years in the future at least.
Yeah, I get it.
So it got me excited to see what she's been experiencing out there.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. It's different when you introduce a character that's like Rudy Love, everybody like Iron Man, blah blah blah, and then you introduce this character that's like so OP she can destroy everybody. But
and that's exactly why I hated her. She was so OP in that scene when she comes. I won't get to it.
Destroys all the Thanoses. Oh, this is Endgame, bro.
Yeah, I know.
And then everybody should know this by now.
When she fucking saves Tony and she's like carrying the ship glowing, I was like, so you're right. This movie is not like that, where it's like you get a bunch of OP fucking characters other than the judge. The judge, obviously Celestials are OP, but they're neither good nor bad. So watching this, the dialogue in this movie from these super powerful creatures, these characters, was fascinating. I was sucked in every time they explained something about the universe, something about history. I said it earlier.
Dude, it was so interesting. Keep on going, my bad.
Yeah, like the Hiroshima bomb dropping scene. I literally another scene where I was like, oh, and I almost straight up teary eye because I was having a beer and I started getting teared up because I was like,
I'm glad you feel that too, bro. Because I was like, there was a few times in this movie I was like, oh man, like my heart.
Yeah, dude. No, I did because I don't want to. Obviously, I'm not super duper, but I relate to that of, oh, what did I do? Yeah. Like, and there's a lot of those moments.
So we can keep on breaking this down character by character because honestly, that's really what this movie was.
Really is. Yeah. That's
character by character.
That's fucking good way to put it. It really is. The whole movie, that is so dope. I didn't even think about that. This movie is literally, oh my God, this might be the best origin story movie ever. Like, not better than Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, or like, I mean, like in the sense of story building.
No, I know what you mean because this is the first time you can introduce like 7 characters at once.
Yep.
And still care about all of them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Without having to have each of them.
Bro, another one.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was going to say, it just made me laugh because I think I heard somebody else say this though, but how did Marvel do this? And fucking DC couldn't, bro.
Dude, they did this shit with like a one-off set of characters.
Like B-team characters. And then fucking DC did it with A tier list, bro. Literally tier 1, bro. Top shelf fucking.
Bro, it's funny because if you were to compare anything DC has done in this, it's like their movies don't even stand up. Like, if you were to compare DC to Marvel with what we're saying, theirs movies are like Captain Marvel. And, like, this movie is, like Ben said, a B team that ends up being where you're like, where's the sequel?
For real, because we're all, like, everybody. And, okay, maybe it's because we already have an established universe and maybe what's going to come next because this is literally setting up possibly phase 5.
It's
or
setting up a
whatever.
lot. It's setting up.
is.
It's not just setting up future Eternal stuff. It seems like it's setting up future Celestial, Guardians of the Galaxy, New Avengers,
Galactus. I mean,
Galactus.
that's the only thing it could really lead up to, right?
Yeah, and for the record, I'm surprised they didn't Easter egg that, or maybe they did and when we missed it. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't.
So let's talk about these characters real quick. Icarus. We didn't really talk about him. Obviously, he was a slave.
Bro,
You know
I
what
can't
mean?
believe they got away with the Superman stuff.
They did. So
I
you've
can't.
seen that too, right?
Yeah, I was like, how did they get the rights to saying this?
You know what they did? They paid a really pretty penny. That's
Oh,
probably
they
why.
paid a huge penny. Not only do they say Superman, they say Clark. And then
Yeah.
and he's like, I don't
And
have a fucking
To be
cape.
specific for anybody, it's right when to introduce
Gilgamesh.
no, Fastos.
Oh, Fastos.
Fastos, and then
Fastos,
the little kid is like, oh, hey, he's like,
That's
oh, these are my
Superman!
college-" Yeah, he's like, these are my college friends, and then they're like, he's like, no, that's Superman,
That's the guy that was on TV in London.
with the laser eye beams,
Yeah,
and
and-
fighting the monsters on TV, and he's like, oh, you're gonna got me.
Bro, and then Fastos walks. They go to walk in the house, and he's like, "So should I just have called you Clark?"
Exactly.
I was like, I literally stopped. My jaw dropped.
So-
I was like, they paid DC to say that.
I'm gonna say this. It's official. DC exists.
In the Marvel universe.
So, what if they did a what if season with Batman and Marvel?
Well, hold on. In the comics, there is a crossover of DC and Marvel. For the record, look it up. There is I 100% promise you a DC Marvel
No, I just thought it was funny. It's like
they did they did Batman versus the Hulk. I think that was just crazy. It was fucking crazy to see that, and it was nuts because I watched Icarus. I read what Icarus, the actor, said about Icarus, and he said one thing that he tried to do with Icarus was he wanted all of his. This is interesting. Because of the character's powers and the story, he wanted Icarus to appear like his movements were effortless on screen. And I was like,
came out good.
I thought about that, and I'm like, think about it. Every time he flies, there's only a few scenes when he shoots off, right? There's a lot of scenes where he's like floats away, and it's like,
there's one thing I also thought about too is, and they didn't show it, or maybe they just didn't want to give too much away, is when he had the 3 deviants on him, or the 4 deviants or whatever. He was like, I need your help, Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
I think he did that. Obviously he had to do that shit on purpose, because he could have definitely, if he was able to handle most of the Eternals for a second on his own. But remember, the 3 deviants fucking fucked, like he picked him up and everything. And
dude, he almost died.
I don't think he did, though. And
when he got pinned in the forest, when he got pinned to the ground, and he got his head, and the claw climbed on his head, and he was trying to laser beam everything, and then he closed his fucking monster closed his hand. If Gilgamesh hadn't stepped in, because he had all those pins in his back.
This is where I disagree, though, because I think he purposely did that in order to. I think he was strong enough to fucking.
But keep in mind, again, literally, Gilgamesh is the strongest. There's a reason that
most definitely. But
yeah,
what's the best way to bait your strongest player if you're being a betrayer in order to take on a fucking horde? Pretty much.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
He did end up killing a couple of them, and then Cersei was the one who turned the other one into fucking glass or whatever. Crystal.
Wait, so Icarus. Yeah, she turned him into like a fucking glass crystal tree, which was fucking dope.
But Gilgamesh, after Gilgamesh got fucking
killed,
absorbed.
Yeah. So how many Eternals did Icarus kill? Just 1?
2, 3.
Wait, so Ajak
and Gilgamesh. And I think
he didn't kill Gilgamesh. Well, with your theory, yes, but technically a deviant. Right? No, he didn't.
He stole his powers.
No. Wait.
And then
Icarus?
No, my bad. I
The
thought you were talking
deviant.
about the
The
deviant.
deviant.
That was my
How
bad.
many
My
how
bad.
many characters did how many Eternals did Icarus kill? Ajax?
Technically zero
No.
because
Yes.
he
Okay.
baited.
Technically
I
zero.
mean, yeah, he did kill one. Ajax.
He baited Ajax. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. My bad. Okay, so he technically actually did no damage this film to
No,
Eternals.
you know you're right. You're right. He did kill because I mean that you shove somebody into a
That's right.
pig
He pushed
pen.
her down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically a wolf's den.
Yeah.
And but
Lion's den, whatever.
and then he thought he killed Druid, which I was so happy he didn't kill Druid when Druid came up because I was
Kind of
the
figured.
the moment what was her name, Makari and Druid
Yeah.
seen each other in the spaceship and they were like flirting and they were and what's his name was like, okay, this is weird. And for a second, you know what I thought Kingo said? I
What?
started dying, but I don't think he said this. He was like, I don't know if I could deal with incestuals.
I didn't catch that. I did not.
I don't.
Catch
He
that.
didn't say it.
Oh, okay.
But he started. He was grossed out by those two because they're all basically related. They're all they all have the same
from the
father.
same planet and stuff.
Yeah. Well, not planet.
Well, no, well, that's what they make it. Their memories.
Yeah. They literally. The judge creates them on that fucking space station, the Star Destroyer.
So, I mean, we really talked about every character. I do want to say Athena destroying Crow.
Crow, yeah,
was fucking sick. How she just chopped him up, and I was like, we haven't
had
a good
dude.
Fucking somebody getting diced up scene in a long time, like a
Bro,
proper one, not like some fucking B scene or something.
I was okay. So two scenes with her to bring up real quick. One, that scene real quick, because since we're on it, I was fucking pissed when she started to get absorbed. I was like, if they kill her, this is an amazing character. And in my mind, I'm like, this has got to be Angelina Jolie's fault for not wanting to do the sequel. But
she was like, I don't want to do it.
But then she literally like swipes up and swipes down, and it was like, oh my! She cut him into fucking 8 pieces.
It reminded me a little bit of Skyrim, where you could summon you know what I mean? You could spawn like a sword or an axe or something.
Yeah.
And when she did that, when she's like, I guess in a way like created it.
Yeah.
As it came out, it fucking destroyed the tentacles that was around.
Yeah.
It was just, boom, boom, boom.
It was
just like
damn. It was such a well detailed scene.
But even before when it starts is the way he uses Gilgamesh to kind of be like, Athena,
to evolve.
It's okay.
Oh yeah.
Stay here, and then he like puts his hand out,
and she's like falling for it.
Yeah.
And then he fucks up, and he says, and that's so awesome you brought that up because this is my second scene, because he brought up the remember thing. That's another scene that almost made me cry. When Gilgamesh just
I didn't even catch that.
Because the deviant Crow, right? He goes, he has her. She's about to die. And what he fucks up on is he says in Gilgamesh's voice, remember, and she clicks and she's like, I do remember. And
after she killed
the
deviant.
Yeah, but if you go back to like in the forest, every time those two characters were on scene, it was like powerful moment of like real love. Not like I want to fuck you because you're hot love. I mean like literally those two.
I want you to keep on thriving in life.
I want you to keep living.
Yeah.
Keep living. And like Gilgamesh, that's when when they had that scene in the beginning when they all broke up. And Gilgamesh is like, you're not erasing her memories. I'll sacrifice all my time to be next to her every second.
And then they're like, well, she could kill you. And he's like, I'll take that chance.
I'll take that risk. I was like, oh my God. Dude,
that's how they see little things that they make you and like damn, this person's a real one and stuff. And then also another thing with Gilgamesh though, I really liked is when out of all the characters that they told that found out that Ajax died.
Yeah,
he had the best one because he took the pot out of the fucking thing. Yeah, but even before then, he was like, "Who wants to try my pot?" And they're like, "Oh, she's dead."
Bro,
dead. Yeah, no, for real. But he just like it was funny, but at the same time, that's like some real life shit. Like, I mean, if he wasn't holding it, if he wasn't a super fucking super strong,
he would have got burnt.
he would. Well, not only that, he would have just like, you know what I mean? If that was some like kind of movie, they would have dropped the pan.
Yeah.
But instead of dropping the pan, he just held on to it, and like you said, he just fucking squeezed the fuck out of it. And
Yeah, dude.
I love that. I love that scene, bro.
I love that relationship. I love how they set up Thena's character. I love that by the end of the movie, the movie's great. The movie's great, but by the end of the movie, you want to see more of her.
Yeah.
And like, it was really fucking cool to see those heartfelt moments, because I didn't even get that moment. At least I didn't, when Black Widow and Hawkeye had to sacrifice one another for Endgame with the Infinity Stones. I was like, go, be gone. I hate your characters anyways. Like,
it really just felt like, who wants to have their own movie or miniseries? No, I'm just
precisely. Precisely. That is totally accurate. Oh, but in this movie, it really felt like, yo, like I said, real love, like love that you don't buy on Craigslist. Like, it's real shit. And then also one other scene before I forget, Thena sitting in front of the tree painting.
Was she like pretty much predicted the whole movie?
Dude,
and she's like, the 6th century can't be saved.
Yeah, bro, we literally.
Was she was saying the wrong century though, right?
No, they didn't really.
No, they did say something about it. Actually, my bad. They said that she was remembering a century from a different time.
A different time. That's right. Yeah, and there's actually nothing wrong with her other than the fact that she's other than Ajax.
Angelina Jolie, bro.
Bro, she killed it. She killed it. Like, it made me like her so much. Like, where I was like, this scene again. I'm not a huge analyst. She's good and she's bad in some things, like any actor.
Totally agree.
But in this movie, she fucking is the goddess of war. Like,
you want to look at her every time she's on screen, right?
And you want to hear her, and you want to see.
Like, what is she saying? Like, what's going through that mind,
bro? Another good. So for anybody that's like the comic relief scenes, Kingo isn't the only comic relief. There's a moment when they're all first getting back together, and Gilgamesh insults Sprite, and she's like, "Don't worry, no beer for the baby," and she turns him into a baby. She puts all the babies.
The little baby gown. He's on a pink gown and shit.
And he's like, very funny. I'm a big baby. I started dying. It was stupid, but I thought it was cute. It was appropriate. Like,
dude. Yeah. I mean, that was a good one. I love how also Kingo became like the Bollywood guy. You know what I mean?
Bro, and he came out and he's like this. Yeah. And he starts dancing and doing things. Yeah. Bro, and he goes, when they first meet him, and they're like, he's like, don't worry, guys. I included your story in the prequel.
and then we probably didn't talk about this, but he pretty much his Kajin, I think his
assistant,
the whole time. Great dude, one of the great, like another part of the comic relief is like having the multiple cameras.
Yeah,
and then how he called out how Sprite had.
Yeah, dude, they kept breaking his camera and he kept just pulling out these giant.
Like, how many fucking cameras? Or she didn't say fucking, but how many cameras do you have?
I love.
He's like, you have to always bring extra, bro.
Like, he went through like 3 cameras in the movie, and you
At
never
least
once
3
see
or
him.
4, dude.
Yeah, you never see him with a bag. Like, he literally like has like 3 giant cameras and then like, the handy one.
And then speaking of, there's like 3 or 4 times where Kingo is just like, he looks at the camera and he's like,
cut.
You know, like, yeah, he's like,
like when Sprite is like, you abandoned me, he's like, cut.
Yeah, he actually like hits the spot on with the Sprite having a love interest in Icarus.
Yeah, he's the only one that knew. Cersei.
Yeah. Oh my god. This fool's carrying me. Check out the description. Make sure you follow this fool channel, Instagram, all that shit. Dude.
I also 2 things. 1, that actress is, and she's also for 2, she was a great actress. But 3, the way they evolved her powers for me. That's why because I was sitting on Marvel's wiki and reading about her.
The way they portrayed her in the whole movie, she was pretty much the weakest character. And funny enough, I don't think we even talked about her out of all the characters.
But the thing is, the end. So the end result of the movie, right, with Fastos creating the wristbands to help them create the Unimind, or as Kingo called it, what did he say? The brainstorm.
Yeah.
It's so stupid, dude. He was like, I don't like.
He's like, no, this is my
no.
creation.
Yeah.
Even though
Dude,
that would have been, that was my, I would have liked that better than
bro,
brainstorm than the Unimind or whatever.
bro, I love when he was like, no, we should call something like brainstorm, and he's like, brainstorm.
Brainstorm! Yeah.
He's like excited by his own idea, but
And then the Fastmouse was like, no, we're not talking brainstorm. It's my creation. It's called Unimind.
Yeah, it's mine. It's Unimind. Like their family dynamic
it's pretty dope.
It's as good as it's good, maybe even better than the dynamic that we got to see in Guardians of the Galaxy between Groot and Rocket. But I digress. Go back. The end when Fastos builds the wristbands so they can all form their power. I think what you said, where you're like the whole movie, it seems like Sprite and Cersei are the weakest, and by the end of the movie, Cersei literally turned a fucking Eternal into a human, or allowed her to age.
Oh yeah,
and then turned a Celestial into a marble sculpture. Like the power there. Another scene before that even happened.
Before you even say this, you guys ever seen these those eggs that they keep in that are delicacies that they eat?
A porcelain egg? No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. I know
I
exactly.
Japan or China,
Yeah,
China or something like they eat the. But
no, I know what you're talking
that's
about.
pretty much. So somebody in the MCU, spoiler alert, is going to come and be like, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
I think in fact Cersei may be one of the strongest, because nobody can touch her without, if they touch her, she can use her power to do anything now.
Well, they also said this too. Celestials, the reason why they don't die when a planet explodes, Eternals, why they don't die when a celestial is born, is because they share the same cosmic energy. So as the celestials getting born, and it's feeding energy into them, so
they're at their most powerful.
But at the same time, they're getting healed and buffed.
Yeah, and they're at their most powerful. Like when the emergence happens, Eternals are at their most powerful. And dude, but it was crazy because like you said, she seems like the weakest character because she doesn't know how to fucking use her power.
They gave it away halfway through, but yeah.
But that scene, they really did. But the scene when the volcano goes off and it's Tiamat.
He has the same name, but he has like a couple different names.
Yeah. Well,
in the Marvel universe, but
yeah.
I have another theory about that. But
I want to say one thing. Her being portrayed as like the weakest, I thought was fascinating, because not only in the movie, she's like, I can't turn living organisms into anything. By the end of the movie, before she even gets near the emergence and gets the most powerful, she kills a deviant by turning him into a tree. That's one. Two, I want people to think about this. The volcano goes off and is shooting out like meteors, right? And everybody's okay, basically. Like, I mean,
well, they all could take care of themselves pretty much.
Except Sprite is basically kind of fucking useless in this movie. But
I mean, she would probably be the most vulnerable at that point. I don't know how she survived. Looking back, the Celestial, I guess.
All Eternals,
even if a big ass rock landed on her, she'd be like, and then the Celestial energy would still keep her alive.
All Eternals. This is where they fucked up in the movie, because in the comic they explain this. All Eternals, the race, the species of Eternals, they're all robots. They all are
in a sense
super strength. They all have super speed, super strength. They're all. But what I was gonna say, my second thing about Cersei, where I was like, holy fuck, I don't think people are realizing how powerful this character is. The volcano shooting the meteors out, and Icarus is using his eye beams, and Makari's avoiding them. Fastos is using the technology, right? Yes,
she's going like that, right?
Yeah,
she's going.
Bro, she literally puts her hand in front of her face, and not only does she stop meteors from hitting her, but they're in the beginning of the movie. She does it with the bus. Think about that. If she is just thinking,
that's
hey,
true,
if anything touches me in this next second, a bullet, anything, she literally is going to be like, make it turn to dust. Like, and it blew me away. I was like, by the end of the movie, I realized, I was like, this character is so powerful without even the extra support.
That's the thing I kind of hated about Ajax though, is she could heal. She's the healer, but she was also the weakest. And I was
She
like, "What? How are you gonna make your fucking
the leader.
captain of your team the most jelliest?"
Well, it's yeah, because like I thought to me, the way that I would have liked to see that character portrayed is that if she can heal, she does it. I would have liked to see her not need to touch to heal.
Like Wolverine status. Like you get your head chopped off and you just.
Well, that's so that, and then also I feel like she should do the reverse. That if somebody is like an example, if anything comes near her, she should be able to be like, bye, and they're dead. And like, because she has the power of life, she should have the power of death too, because of. But
I mean, she
I
did
get
get
it. I get it.
absorbed. She did get absorbed, like the first one to get absorbed. I don't know if he knew Homelander. I mean, Icarus knew that incarnation was in there, and you know what I mean. The deviants. We didn't even talk about them. They were hybrids of the dinosaurs.
Dude, no.
That's what he said, right?
No. You're right.
Or
You're wrong.
or did they just go to the Earth
so
and then they evolved?
the judge, the celestial, he created the deviants to balance to where what their purpose is to kill the predators of planets. The problem is when he sent them to Earth and other places, they evolved because of the other predators. So when what you're describing,
I swear it was like demigods, like it was like that's how they got griffins and shit.
You know what I thought about how I looked at it? I didn't look at deviants as demigods. I looked at them as titans. If the Eternals are gods, right? I looked at if the Celestials are gods, the Eternals are demigods. I looked at the deviants as titans. His exact words were, but an unexpected result happened. They evolved. And so I created the Eternals to keep them away from the intelligent life on the Earth, so the celestial eggs within those planets could grow. Okay. That's the whole point of the Eternals. It's funny. The Eternals and the Deviants, they say this in the movie. Icarus says this. He's like, we are the exact same. He doesn't say what I'm about to say, but he says they're the exact same. They're basically population control.
It's funny because right when he started, when the Deviant started talking, when he took Gilgamesh's power.
Yep.
I connected that because in the beginning, Druid was like, this is genocide. This is humans just pretty much killing humans.
Yep.
And then Gilgamesh, the crow, was like, "Oh, I get it. I get what she's saying now.
Millions of years.
Me and you are the same."
Yep.
And then he ran away, and I was like, "Oh, so this is pretty much a human sword." But that's one of the different ways how they connected those stories.
Yeah, dude.
Like kind of that feeling of like, oh shit, like this is human against human.
Yep, and the flashbacks support that a lot. It really shows that between just not the deviants, because Crow, the leader deviant, the alpha deviant, he says it. He's like, all we ever wanted was to survive, and now I'm stuck with all the memories of all the times we've been destroyed just to spawn a celestial. This is the conversation you want to have about a Marvel movie, where it's like those little things that people listening to this are like, this doesn't matter. Stop talking. It does matter because it's interesting. It's the lore. You know what I mean? The lore of the deviants is fascinating. So this also goes to say that there still are deviants on Earth after this movie.
Dude, yeah, definitely. And I'm sure that's going to come into play at some point in time.
Agreed.
So this is one of the things I wanted to say. So let's go into our predictions and everything, because I really feel like we're not going to get any Eternals until maybe like the Marvels. Maybe we might get something in the Doctor Strange movie, but I doubt
not the Spider-Man movie though. We will not see probably any Eternals in the Spider-Man movie. Just if anybody's wondering,
I do have one thing though. If they do, because these characters are obviously probably going to come back, and if any of them do come back, I think the judge is going to bring back Icarus, because like he showed there's, you know what I mean? It's like a
wait, he killed himself.
But what's stopping
a celestial? You're right. You're right.
From making another Icarus.
You're totally right.
And that's the one thing I thought about. I was like, what's the best way to fuck with the person that stopped a celestial from being born, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like test the basic human ways of love. You know what I mean, like
Yeah.
the way they ended it, I would see like, oh my god, this person is
But
really
by the way, we didn't actually say the exact ender. One other thing, and I'll speed through
yes.
it. It ends with Cersei's and her boyfriend standing together, and she's like, "So you're like," he's like, "So you're a god," and her boyfriend is like, "Yeah, but I need to tell you a secret about me." And before he can tell all of us this secret, the judge shows up to Earth and takes three of the Eternals. I
The
don't
ones that
remember.
are the ones that are
It,
survived, right?
yeah, it's like Cersei,
And then the one that
Fastos, and somebody else, I think, and Kingo.
I'm
He couldn't have taken
Sprite,
Druid and
Sprite.
Makari because they left in the spaceship to go find more Eternals.
So people who don't know, this is basically, and I'm gonna fucking post this and make this a fucking meme. This is the end of the Celestials. Katamari.
Yeah, it is. It
When
is.
you when
So
you when you're a celestial or when you're eternal and the celestial pops up.
So for two, I have a theory, and then a fun. I'll say my fun fact real quick. So I was reading on who's more powerful. Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet can defeat a Celestial.
I could imagine that.
So that's my fun little fact. Second fun theory. I think that the judge took the Eternals because at the end he goes, I'm gonna steal all your memories, and I'm gonna decide if this planet's worth saving. And if it's not, I'm coming back here and fucking it up, is basically what he
Yeah.
says. I think what's going to happen, or at least what I hope is going to happen, just the theory, I think Galactus is going to come to Earth to eat Earth. And we're gonna fucking say,
I was right about earlier about
and the
egg,
heroes,
huh?
yeah, and but because that's the reason. But you're not wrong. It's funny because it's ironic because that's the whole point of Galactus destroying planets is to eat planets to stay as powerful as he is. So I think that Galactus is going to come destroy Earth just for a snack, and the heroes of Earth are going to save Earth, and the judge is going to go, I've never seen a species like this.
So,
or we're gonna have to fight, or either that the new Avengers are gonna fight the Celestials.
This is my theory, bro. And I looked this up. And it took me a second to do it. So I think the Eternals are gonna stay frozen until the Marvels. Maybe before then, but wait. So everything Phase 4 is gonna happen. You know what I mean? Thor's gonna give up his fucking hammer probably.
So Natalie,
no.
Portman.
And you know what I mean? They're gonna introduce the new, like, Spider-Man's gonna be there. Whoever else, I don't know.
Whoever else.
Blade, Venom.
I don't think Blade will ever be on the Avengers, and I think
Maybe
Venom.
not the Avengers, but I think they're gonna introduce a lot of people. And then once the Fantastic Four come in, I think that's when they introduce the X-Men. That's when they start to get ready to introduce the X-Men.
Remind me of the mutant theory after you finish this. Go on.
So this is probably going into that mutant theory, and they end up, you know what I mean? So Spider-Man's gonna have to do something with incorporating all these fucking universes.
But keep in mind that after this movie of No Way Home, nobody's gonna remember, including the Avengers, who Spider-Man is. He's no longer an Avenger after this because nobody remembers he's Peter Parker.
So.
Not even Pepper Potts.
I mean, I'm sure by this time he'll be known as Spider-Man. But
yeah.
So I think when they do the Fantastic Four movie, at the end of it, something crazy is gonna happen, and I'm sure a lot of stuff's gonna be happening with everything. But
yeah,
Silver Surfer will show up, and then that's when he starts fucking shit up.
Galactus is Herald.
He'll end up fucking. Earth will end up, you know what I mean, recruiting Silver Surfer.
Bro,
but at that point we don't pretty much Silver Surfer at that point in my mind would be Thanos in a sense, where he's just like otherworldly, we can't stop this, but then instead of stopping him we recruit him, and then that's when Galactus is like, fuck that, I'm coming, and then he starts sending Sentinels, and then you know what I mean, we have like Marvel, we have Captain Marvel, we start fucking shit up, but then all of a sudden Galactus shows up himself. and we can't do nothing about it. Like
Yeah.
Galactus is literally, like you said, he's about to eat this
He's
planet.
a either they eat the planet. Yeah.
And then that's when the judge lets go of fucking the Celestials, and the Celestials
No, no,
and
wait.
X-Men, or
Eternals
the Eternals, they releases the Eternals, and then the Eternals and the X-Men and the new Avengers and everybody else
and
that's
Fantastic Four.
yeah, fantastic. All these people group up and they have to release. Maybe it destroys Earth or
Yeah,
blows up a part of Earth, but they have to release that celestial that they just froze.
dude, dope fact, and it supports my mutant thing that I was gonna say because I love that. One thing, there's a theory running around right now. I thought about this when I watched it. I looked it up, and there's a lot of Marvel fans like being like, this may be the case. So Marvel bought Fox and owns the X-Men now. So they're rebooting the X-Men. It's a brand new X-Men, right?
That's what I figured.
So,
Like,
but
every,
but in the Marvel universe, do you know how what the rumor is saying how the X-Men are created?
no.
The mutant gene in humans, the Eternals are responsible for from years of sleeping with us and being here for 7,000 years and having sex.
So
and
like we said, like I said earlier, with the son of the dude being a fucking mutant.
that's what I'm saying. What if that's one of the first mutants? Because think about this, because Apocalypse is the very first mutant technically, and he's back in Egypt time. So what if in this universe the Eternals,
the time
Celestials made Eternals made mutants? I'm like, woo! Like I don't care if it's right or wrong. What you just said, and like what the point of what I think we're trying to say here is that is why this movie's awesome, because you have a whole bunch of what if this happens moment after you learn everything.
There's a lot, dude, and
a lot.
And also too. The only reason I said the theory that I said is that character. Would you say his name was
The judge?
The celestial that was supposed to come out?
Tiamat.
Tiamat.
I think that's how you say it. Yeah.
In Marvel lore, I don't know if they'll do this, but he's the strongest celestial, and it's probably because he's the youngest. But he's so strong that even Galactus is scared of him, and that's the only reason I say that. Is that they're like the only
if Galactus comes to Earth to kill.
No, the Galactus comes to Earth to destroy Earth.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's in the past. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like I said, this is my theory. He sends Silver Surfer to eat the planets. Silver Surfer's come here. He gets kind of defeated. At the same time, he's like, "You guys could probably help me fuck up this dude to get revenge."
Because
Obviously,
that makes sense. Because Silver Surfer hates Galactus because he destroyed his planet and only saved Silver Surfer.
Because he was the fucking best Silver Surfer, bro. He's like, I can fucking crush these fucking he wasn't mega waves in space.
The powers Galactus gives him turns him into the Silver Surfer. He's actually an alien, and he has a name. I just can't remember it. But if you watch if for anybody listening, in the 90s, there was a Silver Surfer cartoon, and it's fucking amazing. It's like one of the best Marvel cartoons. Dude. It's up there with Spider-Man, Spider-Man cartoon.
People always think about Spider-Man and Avengers now, but when we were growing up, it was literally about Fantastic Four and X-Men. And then Spider-man too, but
dude, Spider-Man, really Fantastic Four, X-Men, those were the ones that we all were geeking over, like hardcore, dude. Especially for me, because I'm very nostalgic with those cartoons, because when I used to go to Colorado, grew up poor. I never had cable, so when I went to Colorado, I would sleep in my great grandmother's basement, and she had cable in all rooms of the house. And those fucking cartoons would come on at 12 o'clock, and I would sit there with orange juice and just binge watch, bro. And then the Silver Surfer cartoon came on, lost my shit, dude. I watched that. But your theory, I would not at all in any way hate if that was the truth.
What if the Fantastic Four is a way for them to bring in mutants?
Hey, whatever they do with mutants, however they bring them in, I'm about it because of what just happened in Eternals. Now I'm still majorly excited about Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I mean that's my whole theory. I mean that's the reason why they froze him is I think that at some point in time they're gonna have to
Bring him back.
bring him back.
Yeah, because she could have just turned him to ice and
What
had
I
him melt.
what I thought she was gonna do was just disintegrate him because she was I
Okay,
thought,
that's a
'cause she
better
was
than
like,
ice. Yeah.
because in the beginning she was like, oh, I could turn stone into water, and I was like, oh, she's gonna
No,
fucking
she even
just
said,
add him to the fucking.
bro, she even said at one point, she was like, even one, this is her exact words. There on the plane when Kingo's filming on the plane, yeah. Kingo's filming the documentary. He's asking about her powers. She says all those boring answers. And at the end, she said, I even one time turned a rock into air. I was like, oh, she's gonna kill the Eternal. I mean the Celestial.
Yeah.
But she turned him to like marble. And I'm like, why not, like you said, evaporate? Why not turn him to ice so he melts?
So when I looked up this character, and it literally only took like 20 minutes of me just reading a few articles and, like, you know what I mean, the history, it really seems like they could bring this Celestial back.
I hope
And
so.
and I really did love how I love how they showed, like, the Celestial, the, you know what I mean, the Judgment.
Yeah.
He's like just brought him up.
Yep.
But
And he
there's-
just appeared and disappeared. And by the way, for anybody wondering, that's comic accurate. Super
How
comic
did I-
accurate. Yeah, because they were
Like I
able
showed
to-
you Katamari Damacy. I'm just kidding. I'm about to post that tomorrow. Be like, me and Cultcanon did a fucking Celestial Eternals review. Celestials, Eternals.
Oh, okay. I thought for a second his name is Tiamat, but I had a fucking crazy theory, but I'm wrong. I looked up Apocalypse's real name, and it's not Tiamat. I thought it was because it's similar.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, his real name is En Sabah Nur, like an Egyptian.
I'm sure
name.
they're gonna say that for like Phase 7. I'm just kidding.
Well,
When we're
you
like
gotta
40
think-
years old.
I don't think you're wrong because X-Men Apocalypse was fucking a crazy ass movie. Like crazy nutty to see that character on screen.
I mean,
You know who plays
Olivia Munn?
You know who plays Apocalypse?
Who?
Poe from Star Wars.
Wow.
Ex Machina. That's
Ex
Poe.
Machina.
Whatever. He.
Hey, you've been correcting me this whole time. I could do at least.
No, I don't like being corrected. No, I'm just kidding. No, dude, but these theories are nuts because, and I want anybody listening who's made it to this point and like is like geeking out like we are. That's why this movie's amazing. The fact on IMDb it has a 6, and then the idea that the Rotten Tomatoes. Did you see the Rotten Tomatoes? They're
It's
horrible.
a rotten score.
They're rotten. And
Or
I'm
whatever
like,
they you know.
whatever. It's a Rotten Tomatoes, what they're saying. I can't fucking believe that they like this movie and at the same time are like, hey, by the way, Captain Marvel was good.
They were, for real. They're like, this is a 99%, 100%.
Yeah, but I have to say, because I turned the movie off and I went to reviews and I didn't read a single one. I was like, nope, I'm not going to sit here and let this movie get ruined for me because it's been fucking forever since I had a good Marvel movie, to the point where I wasn't even excited about a lot of Marvel shit anymore. And then they did the Spider-Man thing, and then Eternals started to look like it was going to be okay. But watching Eternals, bro, I can't wait to see what they do.
I would be the first one to tell you too. And even looking at the older videos and stuff, like, me and you were definitely like
hating on it.
We'll give it a watch just to
Yeah.
see. And the trailers did not do it justice. That is
At all. But
fucking
at the same time, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so thankful.
They didn't give a lot away. They
At
gave a
all.
lot. They gave stupid stuff away, like stuff that probably didn't even make it in the movie either. Looking back on it, but
No, probably not. That's how Marvel does things. And
Yeah.
but for the record, that was one of my, not just Marvel movies, one of my favorite movies I've watched in a long time. It literally,
Same here.
anytime like a lore building moment happened, I was edge of my seat. Not every time, but anytime a dialogue scene came up, I was all ears. I was like, oh, please. And the movie is almost constant action. It goes like 15 minutes dialogue, an action scene, 20 minutes dialogue, action scene,
Gives
10
you
minutes.
enough just to be able to be like, okay,
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
ready for some
Yeah.
info.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's awesome. I think the movie if I had to say, this movie is a strong 8. It's a fucking strong 8. It's not perfect, and there's things I would change. But if I'm not the creator and looking at what they created and looking at the comic book material from what I've read about recently, because I'm not super like knowledgeable with the Eternals comics,
Same here.
I'm impressed. I was wrong. I was completely wrong.
Though. I will say this. We've been doing this since like 2018.
Yeah.
I will say this. You and Will called this 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. 6 years ago, even like way back in the day when they started doing like fucking Ultron and stuff.
Yeah.
Secret Wars.
Yep. It's coming. It's coming. There was a time when me, you, and Will were talking, and we talked about time travel in the Avengers movies, and ended up happening.
So we're gonna do a couple more of these movie reviews. Maybe not this long to this extent because
man.
We're no. I'm gonna make sure this will probably end up being a podcast episode. Either way, I love these long ass episodes. We're gonna do a couple more of these because I'm sure me and you will see Black Friday, Resident Evil, and
Can't wait for Black Friday.
There's another one. I forget.
Is that coming out on Black Friday? By the way,
I think it is.
If it is, I'd rather go see that than go shopping and get ran over by a fat bitch's cart. Like, for real, bro. Like, that movie looks incredible. So, but anyways, yeah, this movie's incredible. What's your rating? I'm curious because I'm saying right now,
I give it the same. It's about an 8.
It's 8. Yeah, it's about an 8, and it's not maybe give or take a point, maybe 7.9, maybe 8.1, but like all in all, I'm gonna watch this movie guaranteed again in a few times.
The only reason I give it that though is because Disney Plus promised us some great ass stuff, and the only one that was all right was Loki.
Hawkeye. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, recording ended. No, just
kidding. Dude, your voice was like spot on for the Zoom thing, dude. That's dope.
But Loki with a few episodes, and then maybe the last couple episodes of
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Other than that,
or WandaVision. Sorry, WandaVision.
Yeah, WandaVision, same thing.
Yeah, whatever.
So yeah, I loved like Phase 4 so far sucked balls.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're setting up other things and the fact that Sony is getting involved with this,
and they're ending on a high note. They really are, dude. Like you just were saying before I rudely cut you off. The fact that Sony's getting involved and we finally Venom 2. Look, I don't know how you really felt. I didn't like Venom 2. I was talking with
I just like the ending scene. I didn't watch it.
I was talking with Will on my live stream, which I didn't know that was Will. So if he's listening, I did not know that was even him until later. And I was like, Saint Riku. I didn't even think about that until after the stream. I didn't like Venom 2. It sucked. But Morbius looks incredible, and to fantasize that now Marvel's ending on a note because it's Sony and Marvel, I know, but they're still in the Marvelverse. The fact that we got a fucking Eternals movie in November, the way that we did, and we're getting Spider-Man next month, and then Morbius. It's an amazing time to be a Marvel fan.
So bad, bro. Bad.
I'm so impressed with it. The movie. The Eternals, there's a few things wrong where why I can't give it a 10 out of 10. Part of it is due to the length of the movie. If it wasn't so long by a little bit, I don't mean by like 30 minutes. I mean by like 5 or 10 minutes. Some scenes.
I felt for how it was appropriate, but they just
for us 8 out of 10. That's like one of the highest ratings we've given a movie in our Shnerd Bite reviews.
Well, also it's just. It's a great, like you were saying, it's a great extension onto the lore, and this movie is just I really do like it. I'm like you said, me and you were talking before our camera. You said you're gonna watch it. I totally agree. Watch it again. I totally agree with you. I'm gonna watch it again too.
Yep.
I'm really excited what they're gonna do. Sadly, I don't think they're gonna do anything with these characters until maybe like 2023.
Yeah, and the basically AKA the new Avengers.
Yeah, and they're gonna have a lot of stuff because you know what I mean. You just capture them in like some kind of prism.
Yeah, it ends. It basically ends with the rest of the Eternals that stayed get taken, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna take your memories. So when the next time we see those characters, they may not even have their memories anymore." So I know, and that sucks because we've seen all these characters become amazing. In fact, the only characters that may have their memories are Druid, Makari, and Icarus because they all left.
Yep.
Another moment of the lore where you're like, what, who, how, like, what the fuck? Like, and also, you know what I really want to see now? If they do an Eternals 2, which they can do it, I really want to
I
see
think it's going to be the Marvels.
I agree. I want to see what happens after the judge takes the Eternals. I want that scene. Like the scenes with the judge were fucking gorgeous.
They were
They
pretty
were they,
fucking sick. Really happy you're able to record this Cultcanon. Much
Yep.
appreciated. If you made it this far, you guys rock. Don't forget to check out the description. Got a lot of stuff going on there. Cultcanon Shannon's on there. He's doing so much stuff. Don't forget
Hell
to
yeah.
give him some love.
One thing we keep forgetting to say in the beginning that we need to start saying, if anybody listening has made it this far, drop your requests for what you want to see either Ben do or me and Ben do for this channel. If you want other comic news, other DC news, if you want us to react to the shitty DC television universe, if you want us to do a breakdown of all the Dragon Ball Z characters and where it's going, Ben is super knowledgeable in the manga of the Dragon Ball verse. Drop those requests, anything, Star Trek, Star Wars, all of it. We'll gladly get to it.
Well, thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate it. You guys have a good night. Shnerd Cast.
Out.